All right, ready to teach you the next skill in restore respect in your relationship. So this one is called repair intimacy. And we want to teach you that every time you're choosing to control your husband or to not respect him, you lose intimacy in your relationship. So as you restore the respect, you gain intimacy back in your relationship. And that feels amazing. So you won't always learn to speak respect with your husband. You won't always remember. Just do your best and learn to be a great listener as you go. But as you course correct and make these changes, you're going to repair 3 things. And that's why it's so important. I'm going to talk to you about each of these things. But these are things that will make your relationship #relationship goals. Okay. So the first one is his self-concept. When you restore respect and repair that intimacy, you carry so much power in his world. You're closer to him than anyone in the world, so your confidence or your lack of confidence in him carries huge power. The second thing you're going to repair is your own dignity. It doesn't feel good to be a bossy, naggy, or critical woman. It just doesn't feel good. It feels great to trust him, to build your relationship and love your spouse unconditionally. The third thing you're going to do as you repair the intimacy is repair that happy connection. So watch the ice melt, the tension diffuse, and the bond deepen as you choose intimacy over control. And that's what it comes down to. So this week, you're going to start to kind of listen to yourself. Notice the habits that might be more hurtful than helpful. Remember in the last video, we talked about I was just trying to be helpful when I told you what to wear. I was just trying to be helpful when I told you how to drive. I was just trying to be helpful, right? But those comments are actually more hurtful and they make him feel like you don't believe in him. So recognize it, heal the intimacy, and it's just a quick apology. The quick apology can just restore the connection. You just say, I am sorry for when I blank. That was disrespectful. And you fill in what you did. So here's some examples. I'm sorry for when I interrupted you. Oh man, that was huge for me. I was the ultimate interrupter. I'm still working on this. But when I interrupt him, it just tells him that what I think he is going to say isn't important. And I know more than him. And that's not true. I'm sorry for when I told you how to drive. Oh, I've also done this one so many times, right? I'm like, if you would just give a little more room between you and that car in front of you. But did he change how he was driving? No, it just put up a wall between our intimacy. I'm sorry for when I answered for you, or I complained, or any of those things. Anything that would be disrespectful, like in a workplace or something, he finds disrespectful. And the key to restoring that intimacy is showing him that you respect him. So again, this week, when you mess up, just a quick, I'm sorry for when I blank. That was disrespectful. I had a ton of these with my husband. And I even could backtrack and restore respect from things that I'd done a long time ago. I for sure thought that I knew how he should interact with my little boy. My little boy's 9. And I have such an easy relationship with my little boy because we're just very similar. And I told my husband all the time how to interact with this little boy. And then it hit me as I was reading these skills and learning these skills that do I want my little boy to grow up to be a woman like me? No, I want him to be manly. I want him to be caring. I want him to be a great husband. I want him to be a man, right? I can't teach him how to be a man. So that one was huge for me. My husband was trying to teach him how to be a man, and it is a different way than I interact with him. But he is a great man, my husband, and he's going to teach my son to be a great man. So I told him one day, I said, I'm sorry for when I told you how to interact with our son. That was disrespectful. And he was like, she finally gets it. She finally gets it. And there were some other things that I backtracked and I went back. And there's some things that I messed up on and I gave these quick apologies. But it was amazing how it restored the intimacy back into our relationship. How he looks at me, how he wants to snuggle with me, how he wants to take care of me and just cherish me as a woman. when I show him respect. But again, we are not perfect, and I'm going to interrupt my husband this week. And I'm going to say, I am sorry I interrupted you. That was disrespectful. And I'm probably going to tell him how to drive. I'm going to really try not to. But when I do it, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm sorry I told you how to drive. That was disrespectful. And that's all it takes to restore that respect back to him, to repair that intimacy. This one has been huge, and it just isn't hard. Sometimes it feels hard, but honestly, you're like, what do I want? Do I want my husband to love me and cherish me and take care of me? Or do I want to be in control? And it's a false sense of control. You don't actually have control over anyone but yourself. And as soon as you start to let go of that little bit of control that you thought you had, you didn't really control your husband. You don't really control what he wears. You don't control what he eats. You don't control what he does with his free time. When you try to, that is when you put a wedge between you two, and you start to take a little bit of intimacy away a little bit at a time until you don't realize it. But it's as easy as this to restore it back. It's just to, I'm sorry for when I did this. That was disrespectful. All right, give that one a try this week and let us know how it goes.